Anybody have any specific questions? Thanks for the time.
Thank you. That's a brief talk for an attorney. Economic development.
Nice.
You grab.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to breeze through that. Good evening. I'm Vicki Pratt. I am the Executive Director of Jefferson County Economic Development Coalition, and certainly have many of the members of the consortium here tonight. And I understand that Mr. Zerling is possibly going to be joining us as well.
That's what I've heard.
So that's it. I've heard that too. So welcome. So you should have copies of the annual report, and certainly feel free to reach out and ask us any questions. As you notice, there are two different time frames that are covered because we do an annual meeting for Thrive Economic Development / JCEDC in October of every year. So everything related to the very specific economic development initiatives that we undertake, that time frame is 9/1 through 8/31, and then everything that we have done related to the home buyer program is actually calendar year 2020. So I'm going to just run through this really quickly. Our focus areas: workforce development, business development, branding, marketing, communications, to attract business investment and to retain business investment. We had a really busy pipeline in 2020. As a matter of fact, we had the busiest year ever. I am coming into my 5th year here. We had more projects in the pipeline in 2020 than we'd had in any given year since we created the organization. The vast majority of those projects are manufacturing, and if you do the subset under that, the vast majority are food and beverage processing. And we're continuing. I can tell you 2021 has not slowed down. So we're seeing a lot of activity. I think there's tremendous pent-up demand. One of the things we do is we work with our municipalities to help them compete for and win new business investments as well. We've been spending a lot of time with our municipalities, helping them with everything that might be project specific, to TID assistance, to helping them with land assembly for industrial growth, helping them understand how to put together revolving loan funds, what that work might entail, all of those types of activities that we should be doing as the professional economic development service for the county. 2020, again, a very unique year. Our focus has never been forward-facing retail. That's not what we do. But March 17th, 2020, all non-essential businesses were told to close their doors. By the 1st of April, we launched something called a Back to Business program. We worked very closely with the Small Business Development Center out of UW-Whitewater and launched that program, and we served 120 businesses in about 10 weeks. It was crazy, but it was great. And a lot of it was just helping people understand these are the resources that the feds are putting out, these are the resources that the state is putting out, but also getting inside a lot of these businesses to help them understand what taking that money might mean for them. Are they really in a position to take money that could turn into a loan for them? Can their business support that? Helping them figure out how they can still make sales if they can't open their doors. So we, for 30 years I've been doing this work, and never took a class once that said, and this is what you do when all your businesses are forced to close. I was like, wow, yeah. Existing business visits, well, many businesses were closed last year, and it was very hard to get into a lot of our food and beverage processors. We still did manage to do 45 existing business visits. This is probably the single most important thing you do on the attraction side of the house, because any business that is currently not doing business in your community but thinking about it is going to reach out to the existing businesses and ask them what it's really like to be in business and do business in that community. If you're not out there talking to your existing businesses on a regular basis, you have no idea what they're going to say. And of course, on the flip side, it gives us the opportunity to find resources to help those businesses overcome whatever their barriers or concerns are in order to stay and grow in place. So the thing everybody cares about, on page 9 of the report, you'll see our announced wins for the previous year, and we had 5 wins in Jefferson County. You'll see a picture there of one of them, Fire Services Inc., which is a new to Wisconsin business headquartered out of the Indianapolis area. We worked with them for about 6 months, a very specific geographic need and a very specific building need that was not easy to find. But we found it and we got him here and we're happy that he's here. I know that our website work has been doing a tremendous job because 85% of our projects in our pipeline, our opportunities in our pipeline came directly from the customer. So we are getting the word out about Jefferson County as a great place to do business and to be in business. And the last page of the report is our home buyer program and home rehab program data. So this is calendar year 2020. Just to give you that very brief overview. We provided counseling to 70 different families. Not all of those families actually went forward to purchase homes, but 37 of them did. These homes had an average purchase price of $148,135 last year. We helped them with the different programs they can get, down payment assistance. We brought into Jefferson County in terms of down payment assistance $260,000 worth of grant money for those folks purchasing homes. So we had a busy year. We're having a busy year this year as well. And I was very pleased to hear Rebecca say earlier to thank everyone for not only the work on the revolving loan fund on helping them close that. That was the JCEDC initiative working with the county to bring those loan funds together and to help some of our municipalities with that. And the housing study was also our initiative earlier this year. I got another study rolling out in a couple of weeks. So if there are any questions, and y'all know where to find me.
Questions for our director, Vicki Brad? Any questions? Thank you very much, Vicki.
You bet. Thank you.
And last but not least, our Register of Deeds, Stacy Huffman.
Thank you. So I'm Stacy Hoffman, your Register of Deeds. It's really good to see everybody in person. I love it. So I'm not going to go in a lot of detail about my annual report. I'm assuming you all took a moment to look at it. Our office is amazing as always. We make money for the county. So there's not a ton of bad things to say about us. But we did have another great year. We actually made 38% more in revenue than we had anticipated. We had so many property sales, it's crazy, as Vicki had mentioned. Low interest rates. There's hardly a house that goes on the market that doesn't sell that same day. And the Real ID is something that also has brought a lot of people into our county because a lot of our surrounding counties are closed to the public. So we are able to sell the birth certificates, marriage certificates that people need for the Real ID from all over the state. They come 3 counties over here to come and get a marriage certificate from us. So that's more revenue for us. So, speaking of the Real ID, that if you look in my scorecard, it tells you that there's a new deadline of October of this year. Well, guess what? That changed since I printed this. It is now May 3rd of 2023 because there's so many places around the United States that still aren't open and don't plan to be open for quite a while. So COVID is going to be a subject of many people's annual reports this year, I'm sure. It's been hard on a lot of our staff and on pocketbooks, but the Register of Deeds, we kind of bloomed for it. And I think there's a few things I wanted to share, and I apologize that this is going to be long. So there's 7 lessons that Stacy learned from COVID. 1, cross-train and create functional relationships. We're a small office. We have 1 person out of the office just so we can make sure somebody's healthy at all times. And we're busier than we've ever been. That makes it really hard. So we've used land information and the treasurer's staff to help us out and vice versa because they're 1-person offices also. We help them out when they need it. So it's really important not only to cross-train our staff, but it's important to cross-train within your neighboring departments. So when we looked at that plan just a little while ago about how we can restructure some of them, I'm a huge proponent in making sure that like departments are together. All the land departments are together. Not only helps us, but it also helps our customers, kind of like a one-stop shop. We're not going to send them upstairs, down the hall, around the corner, all that kind of thing. It's going to help everybody. So if anything happens in this plan, we don't build whatever, let's try to focus around making sure everybody's together so we can help each other out. So lessons 2 and 3, I'm going to combine to make it as quick as I can. Technology is my best friend. I love it, and we better have a contingency plan. I just want to thank everybody for all these past projects that keep coming to you and asking you for money. You know, let's do this, let's buy a new system, let's back scan every document we have. Those have all fallen into place during COVID because a lot of people can't come out, their businesses wouldn't let them come out. We had all that information online. Our county is so far ahead of so many counties, and I only have you guys to thank for that. So it's really important you continue to support projects when I ask for money, because, you know, I'm going to ask for more money at some point. That's the way it is. And I also think it's so important to be proactive instead of reactive. So because you have allowed me to do that, you know, our county has just soared through this COVID without any problems. My lesson number 4 is let's take care of our employees. Ben and Terry have told us this many times, department heads, you know, make sure you're checking on your employees, take care of yourself, that kind of thing. However, it got to be really hard, and I think that's my biggest downfall of COVID is I didn't do a very good job of that. I was so busy taking care of my own daily life and COVID and trying to get the work done because, you know, there's only a couple of us in the office. I feel like I failed at that. We tried to do Zoom meetings, well, we were just busy all the time. People are coming in, phones ringing, documents are coming through. So that's the one thing, if I can ask anybody here, if you see an employee, thank them for what they're doing, because without the employees keeping everything going, you know, our county would be in a world of hurt. So please thank them when you see them, especially these guys up here. So my lesson number 5 is that the future holds so many new flexibilities that we never once considered before. Being the Register of Deeds, many of you know that we have to record the documents the same day we receive them. They have to be date stamped, minute stamped, all those types of things. And we serve the public, and people come to our office all day long. So I never thought I'd be able to let my staff work from home. Well, it worked. You know, COVID proved me wrong again. I was able to let one person work at home at all times. We kind of switched off with a couple of the employees. And I think this is a flexibility that we'll be able to use in the future. If one of my staff has something that's happening, that, you know, they have a long-term illness that they won't be able to come into the office, but they could still sit at their computer and work at home, I'm going to let them do that. And I think that's part of our retention plan, that we can, you know, let's offer this to our employees. So that's lesson number 5. Lesson number 6 is there's always room for improvement in our efficiencies. You know, I'm a huge lover of lean and the 5 whys and this big picture of what the county should be. You know, I made just about every change I thought I could make in my office. COVID proved me wrong again. There were so many things that we could do. So we made little improvements that we never even considered before, and now we're saving like half an hour a day on different things that we've done. So, you know, keep improving. Don't do things just because that's the way we've always done it, and it doesn't seem to take that much time. All those little things add up, and keep improving. And my final lesson, because I'm trying to rush through this, though, is we aren't the root of all evil. We had a customer come in very upset, said government is the root of all evil. You know, started off his conversation not very nice. But I understand his frustration. He'd been to 3 different counties trying to get his birth certificate because he needed to renew his CDL so he could keep working. And by the time he left, he apologized. But made me think, no, we're not the root of all evil. Matter of fact, the Register of Deeds is the root of all things good. Here we are. Not only are we the economic foundation of our county, I mean, you know, we keep things going, but we protect all the records of our land and our people, our most valuable resources. So those are things that we have in our office at all times, and we'll keep for forever. And that's my 7 lessons of COVID. And I want to thank everybody again for all your continued support. And I have to make sure I thank my staff, Mary Beth, Kayla, Amber, and then of course Tracy and Kelly from other departments that helped us through this year. They've been amazing, and I just truly appreciate them. So if there's any questions, anything you need to know about the Real ID, any of that kind of stuff, feel free to stop in my office or ask questions now, of course. But
Any questions for Stacy? Seeing none, thank you very much,
Thank you.
Stacy. This will take us to item